Are you tired of having an unproductive kicking session, being injured, or not having the power you know your legs possess? Well, today I'm going to be going over how to warm up properly before kicking to make sure you have a productive kicking session, you don't get injured, and you make sure your body is allowing it to use all the power you have. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Caden Novakoff. I'm an NFL free agent. I'm a former Division I football kicker, and if this video helps you out, please smash the like button and subscribe for more kicking content. In this video, I'm going to cover my warm-up routine. I'm going to also talk about some tips to help you make sure you have the best warm-up routine possible. And later in this video, I'm going to show you my field goal and kickoff warm-up drills to make sure my body's ready to go. Now, why is warm-up important? It's super important, one, to make sure you don't get injured. Two, it gets your body in the kicking mode. This will allow you to have the best kicking session possible, and it's also going to allow your body to use the power it has. If you don't warm up right and your muscles aren't firing, you're not going to get the power you have, and you're not going to be able to kick as far as normal. Alright, so first I start by using the Theragun on my body, which is a massage gun basically, and this just helps get the blood flowing and kind of loosens up my muscles in my body before I start my warm-up. It just helps me get a better warm-up. It's not necessary, but I will leave a link in the description if you're interested. They are a little bit expensive. I think the cheapest model is like $200, and then they go up from there. So it's not necessary, but again, I just really like it to kind of warm my body up, and it just helps me get even a better warm-up. Alright, so first I start out with a 50 to 100 yard jog, and this is just to get my blood flowing through my legs and kind of wake them up just a little bit. And this really just gives me a better stretch. I start with my deep lunge stretch with a twist, and I'll try and keep the back leg straight on these, or straight as possible, to get the best stretch. And I do 3 each leg. Then I move into a side lunge, and I try and keep my back flat and not round my back. And with these I do 2 each direction. Then I move into the next stretch, which I'm not sure exactly what the name of it is, but basically I take a step and then hug my knee. And I do about 8 of these, so 4 each leg, or sometimes 10 total, so 5 each leg. Then I move into the quad stretch, about 4 or 5 each side as well. Then I move into the bend and scoop stretch, which this one really hits my calves and my hamstrings, which I like. And then the next one I believe is called bird feeder, but I'm not exactly sure. I try and keep the leg that's on the ground almost fully locked out, but not quite, just a little bend. Then I move into high knees, and I do these for 10 yards, and what I do is I start slow and then go as fast as possible and then slow back down. Then I move into butt kicks, and I do the same thing. I start slow and then go as fast as possible and then slow back down. Then I move into pop-ups, which are just kind of an explosive movement, and I like it again. It's just kind of warming those fast twitch muscles up. Then I move into A-skip, and these again just firing and using hip flexors and getting those fast twitch muscles ready. And I'll do these and the pop-ups for about 10 yards as well. And then I move into a B-skip, which is basically an A-skip just with a kick at the end kind of. And again, I do this for 10 yards. Then after that I move into the straight leg kicks, and I do this for 10 yards as well. Then the last thing I do is the high skip, which is an explosive movement. And I do this this is my final preparation to basically make sure my body's warm and ready to really explode. And I do, I think, 2 each leg on these. Then after I'm done with all my dynamic stretching, I move into my static stretches. So for my static stretches, I start by loosening up my calves, because my calves are normally pretty tight. And when I loosen those up, it'll help me stretch my hamstrings out a little bit more. So I'll do some of my calf stretches, and then normally I'll start with like feet together, hanging down. Then from there I'll go into a deep lunge again and twist, and then I'll go into a deep lunge, but where I'll put my back knee on the ground and sit up now. And then this really stretches your hip flexors, which are super important, because that's how we kick. And so I'll I'll lean forward a little bit with my hips and get that hip flexor, and then I'll put my hands in the air and lean forward because this gives it a little more stretch. Then my final step in this, I'll put one hand on the hip and one hand up in the air and lean the opposite direction. Once I'm done with that one, I put my front leg straight out in front of me and pull back basically and kind of bend over with my upper body, and this helps me stretch my calves. Then I will go to the ground and sit on the ground and basically hug my knee and twist my upper body, and this really gets like your glutes and like the outside of your quads. And then from there I'll go into pigeon stretch, which is one of my favorites, and it really opens up my hips as well. So this one's super important, and this one really helps get my legs going. From there I'll go to a soccer goal or the uprights or a pole somewhere where I can hang on to something, and I will do 3 to 5 hip circles going forward, going backward with each leg, and then I will move to sideways leg kicks, and then I'll do regular leg kicks, and I do 3 to 5 of each of these on each leg. And it really just depends how my legs are feeling, how tight I am. Main thing is this is where I finally kind of test everything to make sure it's ready and good to go. The most important muscles for me to stretch anyway, and most kickers and punters, are going to be 1, your hip flexors, 2, your quads, and 3, your hamstrings. And this is super important because 1, hip flexors are used for kicking or punting. That's like the most used muscle, and it's a smaller muscle, so you really want to loosen these up and make sure those are ready to go. Then I would say I really like doing the quads a lot, especially for kicking, because it helps me lock out on contact easier. And when we kick, normally we flex our quad, and we use the quad a lot in kicking and punting, because when you straighten your leg and flex it when you make contact with the ball, a lot of that is using your quad muscle. And then finally, hamstrings for me are really big too, because that allows my leg to follow through. And if you have tight hamstrings, you won't be able to follow through as much for kicking or punting. You have to find your own routine and what works best for you. Not everyone does the same routine. In fact, pretty much everyone has a different routine. Now, we do a lot of the same stretches, or at least most of the kickers and punters I've run into, but we always have a different routine of how we do it, or at what time we do what certain stretch, or what order we do them in. So that's something you just got to play with, and that's something you learn over the years of kicking and punting. And again, there's really no right or wrong answer, but you really have to listen to your body and just make sure it's warm and ready to go before you start kicking or punting. Alright, so now I'm going to take you to my field goal warm-up, and this is what I normally start with once I'm done doing my dynamic and static stretching. Once my body's ready to go, I normally move into my field goal warm-up. So my field goal warm-up, I start with 1 steps into the net, and I'm not trying to hit these first ones hard. I do 3 to 5 maybe into the net, and all I'm focused on here is getting that kicking motion and really just having good ball contact, not trying to swing hard. Then after that, I continue doing 1 steps, but this time instead of into the net, I go around about the 25 to 30 yard line, and I will kick 1 steps into the uprights. And this way I can see my ball flight. And again, these first ones, I'm just focusing on ball contact. I'm not worried about how far it goes on the first couple. And then the last couple, again, I do 3 to 5 of these. And on the last couple, I will put a little more power into it and make sure I'm still hitting a good ball. And 1 steps are just my favorite drill. It really just gets my body into the kicking motion, and that just helps me out a lot, and it gets my body ready to hit field goals off the ground, and I'm getting used to, leaning as much as I need to and swing as much as I need to swing, putting power into it, and adjusting to how my body feels that day, because not every day your body's going to feel the same. So this warm-up really just gets me dialed in and into the kicking motion, which is super important, so you can have a good kicking day every day. Then for my kickoff warm-up, I normally do these after field goal. So most of the days I will always warm up with field goal, how I just talked about, and then I'll go into full field goal steps and hit a few, and then I'll go to kickoff warm-up and then hit full kickoffs. So I always just like starting with field goal. I don't know, that's just how I am. I just like doing it that way. But for my kickoff warm-up, I will go 5 yards back and I'll put my heels right at the front of the 5-yard line, and then I'll take 3 steps sideways. And these are the steps that work for me for a short kickoff approach. And what I'll do here is I'll just jog him in that spot for like a couple seconds, and then I'll just attack the ball and swing away. And what this does, it just kind of gets me free of thinking about technique, and I really just try and swing and let my instincts take over. So this helps me get more power into my kicks, and it just helps me be more natural and really get through the ball, and it kind of shifts my body into the accuracy, from the accuracy and field goal mode to the kickoff and power mode. And so again, I'll hit, I don't know, 3 to 5 of these, and then I will tee up the ball and I will start hitting kickoffs. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Again, the warm-up routine is super important for kicking, for warming up your body properly so you can have a productive session, avoiding injury, and so you make sure your body can use all the power you have. It's super important. I highly suggest you work on your routine and tune it. Make sure you're doing things that help your body warm up, and find drills for kicking that are going to get you in that kicking mode for field goal and kickoff, and that's just really going to help your kicking sessions or punting sessions, and it's just going to make you a lot more productive. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe for more kicking content, and thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.